Across the misty landscapes of what was once the Roman Empire, a strange and perplexing artifact has emerged from the soil. Discovered by farmers and archaeologists, over 100 of these objects have been unearthed, from Wales to Hungary. They are small, hollow, and made of bronze, each one a testament to the skill of ancient metalworkers. This is the Roman Dodecahedron. Its design features 12 flat pentagonal faces, each with a large circular hole. Protruding from each of its 20 corners is a small decorative knob, adding to its complex and deliberate construction. But here is the central puzzle, the question that has stumped historians for centuries. What was it actually for? Despite the Romans' meticulous record-keeping, there is not a single surviving text, letter, or inscription that even mentions this object. It's as if a common, complex item from their world has been completely erased from their written history. This silence is deafening, transforming a simple artifact into one of archaeology's most enduring and frustrating enigmas. Join us as we explore the theories, the dead ends, and the profound mystery of the Roman dodecahedron. Let's examine the object itself. Most are cast in bronze, using a lost wax technique, a testament to their maker's skill. They range in size from just 4 to 11 centimeters, small enough to be held comfortably in the palm of a hand. The 12 faces are pentagonal, a shape with deep geometric and philosophical significance dating back to the ancient Greeks. Crucially, the holes in each face are not uniform. They vary in diameter from one object to the next, and even on a single object. This lack of standardization is a major clue, or perhaps a major red herring, in the quest to understand its purpose. The knobs at each corner are also a puzzle. Are they purely decorative, or do they serve a practical function? Some show signs of wear, as if something was repeatedly wrapped around them, or they were used to secure the object. The objects are hollow, yet surprisingly heavy and robust. They were clearly made to last, and perhaps to be handled frequently. They are found almost exclusively in the northwestern provinces of the Roman Empire, a region with a strong Celtic cultural influence. This specific geographic distribution is key. It suggests a local tradition or belief rather than a universal Roman practice. One of the most persistent theories is that the dodecahedron was a sophisticated measuring device, a tool of Roman engineering. Perhaps it was a rangefinder. By looking through opposite holes, a user could calculate the distance to an object of known size. The different hole sizes would correspond to different distances or object sizes, a kind of ancient trigonometric calculator. This seems plausible. The Romans were master builders, and such a tool would have been useful for military and civilian projects. Another idea is that it was a gauge used to calibrate the size of water pipes or projectiles for siege engines. The different apertures could have corresponded to standard sizes, ensuring parts made in different workshops would fit together correctly. But this practical theory immediately runs into a major problem: the complete lack of standardization among the artifacts. For a measuring tool to be effective, every single one must be identical. These are anything but. The sizes, weights, and hole diameters vary wildly. Using them for precise measurement would be impossible. So, if it wasn't a tool for precise engineering, what other practical purpose could it have possibly served? Perhaps the answer is less grandiose. Could the dodecahedron be a common household object, its function now lost to us? One popular theory suggests it was a candlestick holder. Wax residue has been found inside at least one example. The shape would make it stable on multiple sides, and the holes would create a beautiful, flickering light pattern. However, most dodecahedra have no wax residue, and it seems an overly complex and expensive design for a simple candle holder. Another intriguing idea is that it was a tool for crafting, specifically for knitting fingers for Roman gloves. By wrapping yarn around the knobs in a specific pattern, a tube of knitted fabric could be created, perfectly sized for a finger. The different hole sizes might correspond to different yarn thicknesses or finger sizes. This theory is clever and has been demonstrated to work. But again, why is there no mention of such a tool? And why are they made of expensive bronze instead of cheaper wood or bone? Could it have been a toy? A game of skill, perhaps? A kind of intricate 12-sided die for a game now forgotten? The lack of markings on the faces makes this unlikely for a game of chance, pushing us away from simple answers. When practical explanations fail, we must consider the impractical. Could the dodecahedron's purpose be spiritual or magical? The object is found in Gallo-Roman areas, regions where Celtic beliefs merged with Roman religion, creating unique practices. Perhaps it was a tool for divination, a way to communicate with the gods or predict the future. One theory proposes it was used to determine the optimal sowing date for crops. A specific shadow or light pattern would mark the right day. The 12 faces could represent the 12 months of the year or the 12 signs of the zodiac. The dodecahedron shape itself was associated by Plato with the universe or the cosmos, giving it a powerful symbolic meaning. Owning such an object, imbued with cosmic significance and crafted from precious bronze, would have been a potent status symbol. It could also have been a masterpiece, an object created by an apprentice metalworker to prove his skill and graduate to master status. This would explain the high level of craftsmanship and the variation in size, but not why they are only found in this region. The ritual theory is compelling because it accounts for the object's expense, its strange design, and the secrecy surrounding it. So, after centuries of study, what can we say for certain about the Roman dodecahedron? Frustratingly, very little. It was not a standardized measuring tool. The evidence for it being a candlestick or knitting aid is thin. The most plausible theories point towards a ritual or symbolic purpose, rooted in the unique culture of the Roman frontier. Perhaps its function was meant to be secret, known only to initiates of a specific cult or a closed-off guild. This would explain the lack of written records. Such secrets would have been passed down orally and eventually lost to time. The rise of Christianity in the later Roman Empire would have suppressed such pagan practices, burying the object's meaning forever. Each new discovery adds a piece to the puzzle, but none has provided the key to unlock its secrets. The Roman dodecahedron remains a perfect mystery, an object that is undeniably real yet completely unexplained. It serves as a humble reminder that the past is not a solved equation, but a landscape filled with shadows and whispers. And some of its most fascinating stories are the ones that can no longer be told. They can only be wondered at. Regardless of its purpose, the creation of each dodecahedron was a feat of considerable metallurgical skill for the time. Most were made using the lost wax casting process, a complex method requiring a precise model and careful temperature control. The wax model would be encased in clay, which was then fired. The wax melted and drained out, leaving a hollow mold. Molten bronze, an alloy of copper and tin, would then be poured into the empty clay mold to create the object. Once cooled, the clay mold was broken away, revealing the rough bronze casting within, a one-time use for each creation. The final stage involved extensive cleaning, filing, and polishing to create the smooth faces and sharp angles we see today. This multi-step, labor-intensive process meant that these were not cheap, mass-produced items. Each one was a significant investment. The consistent quality, across many examples, even with their variations, points to a well-established tradition of making them. Some even feature decorative concentric circles or other small engravings around the holes, adding another layer of artistry. The effort involved in their creation strongly suggests they held a high value, whether material, functional, or spiritual. The map of dodecahedron discoveries tells a story in itself. The pattern is not random, it's a distinct geographical footprint. The vast majority are found in the provinces of Gaul and Britannia, with a few outliers in Germania along the Rhine. These were areas with a strong pre-Roman Celtic culture, often referred to by Romans as the barbarian frontier. Conspicuously, almost none have been found in Italy, Greece, North Africa, or the Middle East, the heartlands of the Roman and Greek worlds. This strongly argues against it being a standard Roman military or administrative tool, which would be found throughout the empire. They are often found in contexts of wealth and status, such as villas, temples, and sometimes in treasure hoards. Several have been discovered in military camps along the frontier, suggesting they were used by soldiers from these specific regions. This localization points to a Gallo-Roman cultural phenomenon, a product of fused traditions rather than a purely Roman one. The object's mystery is therefore tied to the mystery of this cultural melting pot on the edge of the known world. Understanding where they are found is as crucial as understanding what they are, and it deepens the cultural puzzle. Over the years, many theories have been proposed and subsequently discarded as evidence and logic were applied. Let's revisit the rangefinder theory. Beyond non-standardization, there's another problem. They are terrible to look through. The small holes and thick bronze offer a very poor field of view, making them highly impractical for surveying or military use. What about a weapon, perhaps a mace head or a weighted part of a bola-like throwing device? They are generally too light and fragile for this purpose. A solid lead or iron ball would be far more effective and cheaper. The idea of it being a musical instrument, a kind of rattle or bell, has also been suggested. However, they are not designed to hold pellets inside, and when shaken, the hollow bronze produces a dull, unsatisfying thud. Could it be a simple puzzle or toy? The complexity seems far beyond what would be expected for a simple diversion. By eliminating what it is not, we are left with a smaller, yet still mysterious, set of possibilities. The process of elimination pushes us away from the practical and towards the symbolic, the ritualistic, and the unknown. The Roman dodecahedron is more than just an object. It is a void in the historical record, a question mark cast in bronze. Its true power for us today lies not in what it was, but in the fact that we do not know. It challenges our perception of the Romans as purely logical engineers and administrators, revealing a potential mystical undercurrent. Every theory, from the mundane to the magical, reflects our own attempt to impose order on a silent past. Will we ever know for sure? Perhaps not. A lost text might one day be found, but it is unlikely. The object remains a perfect artifact of ambiguity, a mirror that reflects our own curiosity and imagination. It teaches us that history is not just a collection of facts, but a sea of forgotten stories and lost meanings. Perhaps its purpose was simply to be beautiful, to be complex, and to be held, a piece of portable, personal magic. So the next time you see this strange, 12-sided shape, remember the enigma it represents. It's a testament to the fact that some of history's greatest treasures are not answers, but the questions that endure.